co-chairperson, Young India Bhubaneswar, and members of the Young India organization, and my dear young participants in the Young India Youth Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a matter of great pride and immense pleasure to be here at the inaugural ceremony of the Young Indians Parliament 2026. I extend my warm greetings to all the participants and guests assembled here today. This remarkable initiative offers young minds a unique opportunity to experience the spirit of democracy through debate, dialogue, and deliberation. It enables students to move beyond textbooks and understand democracy by practicing its principles while nurturing leadership, critical thinking, confidence, and a deep sense of responsibility towards the nation. I wholeheartedly commend the Young Indians and the Confederation of Indian Industry for conceptualizing and organizing this meaningful initiative. I participated in many of the CAI meetings, but this is the first time I am participating in Young India Parliament today in Bhubaneswar. Over the years, Young Indians has distinguished itself through its commitment to youth leadership, nation building, entrepreneurship, education, sustainability, and community service. By investing in the character and the capabilities of young people, you are investing in the future of India. I further applaud the Bhubaneswar chapter of Young Indians for bringing together bright and promising young minds from across Odisha on this inspiring platform where they will learn the values of leadership, dialogue, and democratic participation. My dear students, India is the world's largest democracy, and its greatest strength lies not merely in the number of its people, but in the values that bind them together. Democracy derives its strength from the active participation of its people, the accountability of its institutions. It empowers every citizen with a voice and inspires every individual to contribute to India's progress. Institutions such as Parliament and the state legislative bodies are the living pillars of our democratic system. They are the forums where diverse opinions meet, where policies are debated with responsibility, where laws are enacted for the welfare of the people, and where the government remains accountable to the citizens. Healthy debates, reasoned discussions, and respectful disagreement are the hallmarks of a vibrant democracy. Every law that improves the lives of people and every policy that shapes our nation's future begins with thoughtful deliberation in these democratic institutions. I can tell you, I was the member of Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly in 1999 to 2004, and also I was the member of Lok Sabha from 2014 to 19. I can tell you, if anybody wants to become a legislator and the parliamentarian, of course you have to get elected from the people. Once you are elected to the legislature or parliament, whether you participate in debates or not, but your primary responsibility is to attend the sessions of legislature or the parliament whenever they are held. My attendance in assembly and in Lok Sabha is over and above 97%. Even though I don't participate in a particular debate on that particular day, but I sat in the house to listen to the other people what they are speaking. Therefore, I thought listening to others is the very good education we can have. The holistic view of the entire country is being reflected in the parliament discussions. Unless you listen and understand, how you can have a holistic view of the nation. Therefore, those people who are really aspiring to become legislators or parliamentarians, my first advice is you attend the sessions without fail to the maximum extent possible and listen to the others what they are speaking and try to learn. As I was mentioning, every law that improves the lives of the people and every policy that shapes our nation's future begins with thoughtful deliberation in these democratic institutions. I think I will just show you one clip of my speech in Parliament, first speech in Parliament in 2014 in my first career of being parliamentarian.
I request Honorable Finance Minister to consider some more measures to give the fillip for our economy. The current account deficit is mainly due to the rise in imports rather than the rise in the exports. The import component, what we are importing, should be reduced, sir. In this context, the decision of the government to blend the ethanol into the petroleum products, which can reduce the import of crude oil, will definitely help contain the current account deficit, sir. Not only that, I request the government to consider to give the tax concessions for the automobiles which will run on power, on electricity, rather than the petrol and diesel, sir. If we reduce that, then the import of crude oil will be reduced, the foreign exchange will be saved. If the automobiles are run on power, electricity, then the import of crude oil can be reduced. Therefore, I request the government to consider to give all tax exemptions for the automobile industry which produce the e-vehicles which run on electricity rather than the petrol and the diesels. This type of innovative decisions will help the country to have good economy. I hope the Bharatiya Janata Party and NDA government will definitely take new steps to revive the economy in the country and save the country from policy paralysis and take the country forward, sir.
Your responsibility is to consider the issues and the problems that the country and the society are facing and to find solutions for them. Not only identifying the problems, along with the identification of the problem, you should be able to give a proper solution for it. You have to suggest. Then only our suggestions will have impact. At the time in 2014, the trade deficit of the country is increasing because of the imports becoming more and exports becoming small. The major problem for Indian economy is the foreign exchange spending. That is, in my opinion, it is the foremost problem our economy is facing. If you consider that issue, India is importing to the extent of 22 lakh crores of rupees, spending foreign exchange on import of crude oil to run our automobiles. 22 lakh crores. Suppose if you find a solution, if you can reduce at least by 50%, 11 lakh thousand crores of foreign exchange is being saved. That is why I advocated in 2014 that the blending of ethanol should be taken up to a larger extent and save the import of crude. Now Government of India is blending to the extent of 20% of ethanol into petrol. And I saw a parliament reply that for the last 3-4 years, government has saved about 1,75,000 crores because of the blending program in the country. 20% of ethanol is being blended in the petrol right from 2025 March. Today we are in 2026 July. Nobody talked about ill of blending ethanol till 2026 June or so. Why? Because there are no problems. Blending is going on successfully. Of course, some research reports say that there may be less mileage to the extent of 3 to 5% maximum. That means 1 liter of pure petrol is giving the mileage of 10 kilometers. That blended petrol will give you 9.7 kilometers, 0.3 kilometers difference. Nobody talked about blending, that it is creating any problem. When the government took a decision trying to understand and trying to implement the program further, E85, then some people started crying. When you have not tried when it is E20, why you started this ill campaign only when the government took a decision that it will also try for E85? I believe that there might be some selfish interest in this campaign. I saw one report that blending ethanol is causing cancer. How is it related? Such type of campaign is being run on the social media. I took charge in Odisha on 3rd of January 2025 as governor. Immediately after taking charge, within 2 months, I replaced all my carcade vehicles by EVs. Okay, we are trying to reduce the consumption of crude oil, but if everybody goes for EV, lot of power is required. Where from the power is available in the country? Therefore, the solution is everybody who is using an EV must generate electricity on his own, because you are having an opportunity to generate electricity on your own by installing rooftop solar panels on your house. to establish the rooftop systems on your houses. Government of India is extending subsidy. For 3 kilowatt system, Government of India is extending a subsidy of 78,000 rupees. Fortunately, in Odisha, the Government of Odisha is extending an additional subsidy of 60,000 rupees for 3 kilowatt system. That means almost it is the cost of the 3 kilowatt system, solar power system. When the government is encouraging to generate the power on your own, at least a part of the power you are consuming every day, is it not the responsibility of the citizens to think about it and establish rooftop solar system? How many of your parents have established rooftop system in your houses? Yes. Therefore, my appeal to our young friends on whose houses they have not installed so far, you please impress upon your parents to try to generate the power for yourselves by establishing these rooftop systems. We have established 635 kilowatt rooftop power systems in the Lok Bhavan. Therefore, I am generating the power which is required to run my carcade cars, more than that. Therefore, I am not giving any burden to the country's economy. With the sun power, I am generating the power. With the generated power in Lok Bhavan, I am using the carcade vehicles. I am not buying any diesel petrol for my vehicles. Suppose if you are using a two-wheeler, if not today, tomorrow you are going to use two-wheeler. Is it right? Already you might have demanded your parents immediately after the schooling, I should be provided with a two-wheeler. You have put your demands with your parents? No. You don't want to use. Not yet. But after leaving the school, you will put. Those who are going to acquire the two-wheelers, my sincere appeal is to go for electric two-wheeler. Don't consume petrol, diesel for your transport requirements. Generate power. Make your entire transport cost zero. Everybody can think of that. This point I have mentioned in the Lok Sabha in the month of July 2014, 12 years ago. Honorable Prime Minister has sincerely taken up. He encouraged solar power throughout Gujarat when the unit cost is about 40 rupees, 16 rupees. And now, with the adoption of solar power by everybody, the unit generation cost has come to 2.5 rupees or 3 rupees, less than 3 rupees. And in his latest speech, because of the West Asia war, all our ships which are carrying crude oil are blocked in Hormuz. There was a day when there is going to be a scarcity of petroleum products. Then he appealed people to shift to electric vehicles. And he also made appeals to follow certain suggestions. The next highest expenditure on imports is on gold in the country. Therefore, we appeal to all the people, at least you postpone your purchases, gold purchases, by 1 year. He advised not to buy, but he advised to postpone by 1 year. And the third suggestion he has given is, the third highest imports we are making is on edible oil. 1,50,000 crores on edible oil, palm oil like oils from Indonesia and Malaysia and so on. Therefore, he advised all the citizens, all the women to reduce the usage of oil at least by 10% in their kitchens. And he gave a reason, if that is done, the obesity problem which we are going to face in the country can be resolved and your health can be protected. He gave the advice in the form of protecting your health. But he has in his mind to protect the health of the Indian economy also, that is the point. Like that, the Honorable Prime Minister has given so many suggestions. You can also think about the problems whenever they occur. When COVID came, COVID crisis is a big crisis the country faced in the year 2020, 21, 22. That crisis gave an opportunity for India. In what? Yes? Increasing healthcare facilities and counter the COVID. Next.
Sir, developing its own vaccine.
Yeah. Vaccine development, it has given the opportunity. We supply to 100 and odd countries. Not only we use for our people, but we supply to other countries. Yes. The biggest advantage, in my opinion, the COVID crisis has given an opportunity for India is in accelerating the digitization. When people were criticizing how India can go for digitization because of the illiteracy, not knowing about computer knowledge, and also not having power in so many villages, how this will work. But today, the street vendor on the roadside is using the digital method to receive the money, to pay the money. Isn't it? When I was student, we used to wait for postman to come to my hostel room in the first week of the month. What for? What for we waited in those days for the postman? Yes? In those days, to get money from home, only one way is money order. Money order can be done through post office. Therefore, postman is the most popular man among students in the hostels to get money, receive money from him. But today, are you using postman to get money? Now the entire transactions are on digital platform. We have developed UPI. UPI is being adopted by so many other countries, taking from us. Lakhs of crores of rupees are being transferred through digital transactions. Similarly, West Asia crisis have come now. We don't have any relationship to that war. We have not done anything, but the impact is being felt by us. Some two countries quarreled and have gone for a war. The third country entered. Those three are fighting. Ultimately, the problems came to all the other countries in the world. Therefore, when the country faces such a crisis, I am not afraid. I strongly believe when there is a crisis, the young minds, bright young Indians have the solutions for the crisis. I believe that. Because of COVID, The e-commerce platforms like Zomato, Swiggy, they have come up. They were being promoted by the youngsters. We never knew that food will be delivered to our houses on e-platform. Now we are experiencing those things. Similarly, West Asia crisis posed a problem to the country like India. If the crude oil supply is going to be stopped, if it is not going to be available, or if it is going to be so costly, I think today the Brent crude is quoting $100 per barrel. $100 per barrel. It is becoming costlier. How we can make India self-sufficient, Atmanirbhar in our energy sector? That is how? By blending, producing biofuels, by converting our vehicles into electrical vehicles. I think within 3-4 years we can transform the entire country's economy by shifting to these things. Some of the automobiles are ready to produce the vehicles with 100% ethanol run, flex fuel engines. Ethanol is being generated by agri-products, sugarcane juice, broken rice, maize. When I am saying that this import of crude is being done away with the introduction of biofuels, if you use more biofuels, the amount saved in foreign exchange is going where? To buy sugarcane, to buy broken rice, to buy maize. That means the entire money saved is going into the pockets of the farmers of the country. Is it good or not? There are innovative solutions now before the country. It is for us how we are going to adopt these things and make India self-reliant and Atmanirbhar. That is what Honorable Prime Minister is envisaging, that we have to become Atmanirbhar in every respect. And government is thinking in this direction, and this right direction, and the people also should support how we can become stronger. That is why Prime Minister has set a target 2047 to achieve a developed India, that is Vikasit Bharat. As students and the future citizens of India, you have a special responsibility. The future of our democracy will depend upon your integrity, your awareness, and your commitment to the larger public good. When I became legislator and the parliamentarian, before coming to politics, I was in academic life. I was teaching in engineering college. Many people asked, what is the difference you find between the academic life and the political life? The first answer I gave is, it is the same. To go to college and take a class, I have to prepare for 1 hour to give a lecture. If I am going to speak in Lok Sabha or Assembly on a particular subject, whether it is budget or any other subject, I have to prepare for 1 hour and speak. Therefore, in classroom, you are being given the problems in mathematics to solve. Problem statement and the solution. And in social life, we have to find the problems of the people and the society, find the solutions. There is no difference. Therefore, I felt my academic life and the parliamentarian or legislative life is not so different. The discussions you participate in today are not merely an academic exercise. They are the first steps towards becoming informed, responsible, and compassionate citizens. Whether you choose to become public representatives, civil servants, judges, scientists, entrepreneurs, teachers, or professionals, the values you cultivate today will guide the India of tomorrow. The role of legislative bodies extends far beyond passing laws. They provide a platform to discuss the aspirations of the people, address pressing social and economic challenges, and frame policies that promote inclusive and sustainable development. Constructive debate leads to better governance, stronger institutions, and greater public trust. Nowadays, we are seeing in the houses, both the houses of the parliament or some of the assemblies, rather than constructive debates, it is the disturbance of the activities of the houses, which are not desirable for the good functioning of democracy. As the next generation, you must preserve these democratic traditions by participating responsibly, respecting differing viewpoints, and always placing the national interest above personal preferences. When I say that these distractions should not be there, I can tell you in my experience as the legislator and parliamentarian, I never entered into the well of the house during the session for all these 10 years. I did not leave my seat and go to the well to create disturbance. Democracy flourishes when citizens are informed, engaged, and guided by a spirit of service. My dear students, we are living in an era of extraordinary technological advancement. We don't know how the technologies are going to evolve, which technology will be there tomorrow, which will become obsolete. We don't know. Artificial intelligence, digital innovation, and countless emerging disciplines are transforming the way we live and work. I think nowadays some schools might have introduced artificial intelligence in their school curriculum also. While technology will continue to reshape our future, it must never replace the timeless values that define our democracy. We should not forget about our roots. Progress in science and technology must always be accompanied by progress in ethics, responsibility, and constitutional morality. Our Constitution remains the guiding light of our Republic. It not only establishes the framework of governance, but also protects our fundamental rights while reminding us of our fundamental duties. It inspires us to uphold justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. As India advances towards becoming a developed nation, Vikasit Bharat, these constitutional ideals must continue to remain the bedrock of our nation's progress. Modernity and innovation must always move forward hand in hand with democratic values and respect for constitutional processes. I once again congratulate the young Indians, the Confederation of Indian Industry, and every individual associated with this excellent initiative. By creating such platforms, you are nurturing informed citizens, confident leaders, and responsible nation builders who will carry India to greater heights. I am sure after 10 years or 15 years, I hope to see some of you being in the legislative assemblies and also in the parliament. I encourage each one of you to participate wholeheartedly in the proceedings of this young Indian Parliament. Speak with confidence, listen with patience, respect every opinion, and always uphold the dignity of dialogue. Remember, true leadership is not about winning an argument. It is about finding solutions that benefit society and strengthen the nation. I extend my heartfelt best wishes for the success of this program and wish each one of you a rewarding learning experience today and tomorrow. May this initiative inspire you to become enlightened citizens, visionary leaders, and proud custodians of India's vibrant democratic heritage. Thank you. Vande Utkala Janani. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your inspiring words and for encouraging our young parliamentarians to become thoughtful, responsible, and compassionate leaders of tomorrow. As we come to the close of this inaugural ceremony, I now invite Mrs. Proshish Golyan, Co-Chairperson, Young Indian Bhubaneswar, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Governor of Odisha, Shri Haribam Kamalpati ji,